Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hold on. I wanted to talk about Alandria and Nick next. Let's talk about Alandria and Nick. Shelly and Ace, I could talk about them a little bit, but Shelly, because of the BuzzFeed knuckle sandwich situation. And what else? She's had a lot of, oh man, people are just disgusting. The media, how they're treating Shelly and Alandria, I've never seen it like that before. It's kind of like they're being punished for just existing. And that lets me know that, again, as black women, I gotta keep it real. I'm a black woman. We never get the same opportunities as other people. And even if Alandria and Shelly, they seemed, okay, let's say that the Stand on Business challenge, let's say that they could have done things differently. I will say that. I didn't agree with Alandria saying that Huda kissed Chris in public. I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with Shelly getting upset with Huda because she bought Chris back. I get it though, because Huda is a hypocrite. And whatever standards she has for other people, it doesn't apply to her. I understand that. But at the same time, I do feel like, yes, they had their moment where they weren't seen in the best light. However, they were not given the chance to move on from it. People are still holding it against them. Whereas Huda did all that stuff. All of that stuff. Amaya, I just showed y'all examples. Did all of that. Yeah, did all this. Did all this. New York. Yeah, New York. Did all that. And yet, people can move on from that, right? But with Shelly and Alandria, the only instance where people could hold against them, they used it. So that's why I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because at the end of the day, people are looking for you to fail, especially if you are put together. And that doesn't, okay, to be honest with you, yes, black women, we definitely take the brunt of it. But that's for anybody. I will say this, like, I'm using this as advice to anyone out there, especially if you're a black woman. But I will say this, is that when people are jealous of you, jealousy is very strong, y'all. When people are jealous of you, they will use anything to hold against you. Anything. They're looking for you to fail. Especially if they are threatened by you. And they know that, again, you're beautiful, smart. They can't say Shelly and Alandria are ugly because they're both gorgeous, beyond gorgeous. So they can't say they're ugly. Can't say they sloppy, fat, or whatever people want to use. Of course, I know fat is not a good word to use, but you know what I mean. They can't say they're out of shape, like what they say about black women. Oh, you all big, out of shape. You're all fat, whatever. They can't say that. They're both, small women. They can't say that they're uneducated. Both of them are highly educated. They can't say that they're broke. They're both in careers. What can they say? They can't say nothing. So what are they going to do? They're going to use words like mean girl. They're doing too much. They were mean to Huda. As if Huda wasn't terrorizing the whole damn villa. This is craziness. And you see it in 4K. And it's in video, y'all. It's evidence. Like, literally, I could put up my Crave account right now and show y'all episodes 1 to 30 of Huda being a menace. Up until the last episode.
I really 3 seconds and 3, 2, oh. Oh my god, bro.
When she was trying to get Chris to sleep with her, and he was trying to go to bed, and she said, I'm gonna count to 3 if you don't turn around and give me the cookie. This, the nookie, whatever. Till the end. They even broke up in the final episode. Have you ever seen that before? But yet, Shelly and Alandria are the mean girls. Okay. One mistake, or what they perceive to be a mistake, and they won't let them off of it. That's insanity, right? Let's get into it. Taylor and Alandria, Lord, 3 dreads. I'm not even going to show too much of that footage because I don't really care about him, to be honest with you. But I am going to show you what he's been doing outside of the villa. Let's talk about afterwards, because what's been going on. I stand 10 toes down for them. Absolutely. 100%. I think the extent to the hate this season is reflective of absolutely, it is. It is. And the thing is that the racism, the vitriol, everything is all because people are miserable. And they need somebody to take it out on. And instead of taking it out on the people they need to take it out on, the leaders, politicians, the people who are in power, they use reality TV. They use the social media. They use all of that. The worst of it is, Devonda Pittman, you said it, sis. The misinformation on TikTok and other social media platforms is insane. Everyone has a think piece. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has something to say. And not saying that it's a bad thing, but I honestly believe that some people they don't need to be online. They don't need to be. And another thing is, the term bully has been overused and not used appropriately, might I add, on top of that. They're not giving them grace. They're not giving them grace at all. And it really saddens me because when I look at Shelly and Alandria, I think of who I would want my daughter to be at their age. Hell, I wish I could have been like them at my age, at the age that I was when I was their age. I think that they have the correct way to move and navigate. When I tell y'all a lot, if you guys have watched my case studies, if you're new to this channel and you haven't watched my case study, I have always talked about my experiences, and the reason I do the case studies is because I never got that advice myself. I was running around being like Hannah and Sierra. That's literally what I was doing, not being myself. Hannah's herself, but she was she would sleep with people sometimes and hope that I was mostly like, I would say I was more like Sierra as far as personality goes. Like when I say that I wasn't my true self, because I wanted people to like me. So what I would do is I would mask who I was, and I would act like I'm the cool girl. I was like a Sierra back then. I was like, oh, I'm the cool girl. Oh, I don't care if you do this. I don't care if you, and it bothered me. And then every time, like if whatever, you sleep with a man or whatever, you sleep with your man. And I would think that would put me in a higher position. Oh, because I slept with him, so that means that I'm da-da-da-da-da. And in actuality, I was a clown. Clown emoji. Letting men triangulate me. That's what it was. But that's what low self-esteem does. And at certain points in my 20s, I was in a Maya, seeking that validation. Crying. Wondering why guys didn't like me. Until I got my self-esteem out. Until I worked on myself, is what I'm saying. So I could see myself in them, right? But at the same time, when you look at Shelly and Alandria, they move how I would have wanted to move at their age. The fact that they already move that way and they're so young, they're going to be set up for success. They're going to be set up for success. If I had a daughter, I would want her to be more like them. And the fact that they're being villainized is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. This is who I would want young girls to model. If ever in my case studies, I told y'all, hey, of course, Alandria made mistakes with Taylor. I'm going to get into that. But one thing I will say is that they knew how to respect themselves. They respected themselves. They respected themselves. I'll say that. Of all the girls, they respected themselves the most. And they knew who they were. Now, Alandria, she had a little bit of a shaky ground with 3 dreads with Taylor. But I feel like that was a good experience for her. because she's a sheltered girl. You can already tell that. She's extremely sheltered. I could already tell. I know a sheltered girl when I see one. So you can tell that she hasn't had that much experience in dating, and I think that she trusted people too easily. And she trusted their words and not their actions, and unfortunately that bit her in the butt. Clark was another one I really liked. I actually really liked Clark. I thought Clark was a really good person. Another woman, I liked Iris. I thought Iris was really good too. So it's like there are certain girls that I felt that moved in the way that I would want my daughter to move, to be quite honest with you, as far as just having that self-respect for themselves, right? But unfortunately the world doesn't see it that way, and it's very sad. It's very, very sad, to be quite honest with you. I haven't seen mass jealousy like this before. People are upset that they were desired by men on the show. We're gonna get into that. Hold that thought, soft and spicy. Oh, I did that. So you still here, sis? Hey, what's up? I love how Shelly deals with men, and yes, I do love how Shelly, let me tell you, Shelly, I would say of all the girls that moved, I would say Shelly moved the best. She moved properly, appropriately. She did not give men attention if they were not giving her attention. Y'all saw how quickly she dropped Chris once he stopped leading? She had men giving her 2-3 pancakes, giving her flowers, giving her everything. Now, one thing I didn't like about the whole situation was when she was making Ace breakfast. And then she went to the kitchen like, where is this? Where is that? I get it though, because he wanted her to show that she liked him. But that, for me, I don't know. I got a little red flag vibe from that. Just a little bit. But then again, I can understand his perspective. So that's why I was just like, okay, I'm not going to fully wave the red flag on that one. Only because I think that he felt like she was more interested in Chris than him. And I think that threw him off. And also, their whole are we not closed off relationship talk, he's young. So I'm going to give him a pass on this. Just a little bit. A pass. Because he wasn't taking the steps to close it off with her. And you could tell that's what she wanted. So she kept saying, are we closed off or are we not closed off? But he wasn't really leading that. And I think he was waiting for her to show a little bit more. And show what you're going to bring to the table. I don't like that. It's giving me red pill behavior a little bit. Just a tad bit. But then again, it's because he is of a younger generation. And he's young. He's the youngest. I believe he is the youngest one on the show. So I think it's a bit of an immaturity. I could tell the 22-year-old comes out in certain ways. When he chose Amaya and then completely disregarded her. 2, when he couldn't close it off with Shelly, he wasn't the one to initiate it for a while until they had I think they closed it off when they went to the hideaway, I believe, or after the hideaway. But before that, he didn't close it off. He should have been closed it off, in my opinion, because he was only interested in her. So why were you wasting people's time? But he wanted her to move a little bit. And I get that, but then again, it's giving me, that could just be my opinion, it's giving me red pill. It's giving me red pill. Because if you see, look how Nick moved. Let's compare Nick. Say what you want about Nick, but when he wants something, he wants it. Nick moved in a way where you could tell once he was locked in on Alandria and once he knew that was going to be his girl, as far as when Sierra left the villa, and we're going to get into that, by the way. He was very intentional. He knew what he wanted. Now, did he close it off? No. You want to know why he didn't close it off? Because of Alandria. Alandria is the one pausing with Nick. She's the one like, hey, slow it down. You're going too fast. The optics. That's her. She was the one holding up the line. And she's still the one holding up the line. Because if you saw their live streams recently, he is ready. He ready to commit. He's ready for everything. But she's the one who's holding off.
Nick, you kind of clocked in on her in the beginning, or at least we, like I said, my delusions, we thought you did.
Not delusion.
Yeah, not delusion.
Want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I think for me, it's like doing a lot of the little things. I could see that in the air. It'd be pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. I think just continue to move at the pace we've always have. I don't feel like
Mm.
we need to like just rush into things.
To the gym in like 2 months, but this is my gym now. Oh yeah.
Am I heavy?
Nope.
Okay, you gotta go lower.
Ass to grass. Ass to grass. Pause and up.
Am I heavy?
No.
Okay, then why can't you go?
Fine. That she is.
Let me see. Okay, talk to me, guys.
We went on our first lunch date.
Oh, you can't even say it.
I'm claiming Alabama. And and I haven't told her this yet, but she's gonna.
How you gonna tell them before you tell me? Have you seen my place?
I've seen
It better.
I've seen TikToks.
Yeah.
Favorite rappers.
Bro.
He's no longer with us, but he's my favorite. Or Kodak, because I'm from Florida. Shout out Pompano. Shout out Kodak. Shout out Skrilla. Alright. You two are cute.
And I have not seen Alandria do a grand gesture for Nick at all. She doesn't have to, because he's always pursuing. But again, I'm going to put it up to race. Listen, we got to be honest. I believe a lot of black men have that mentality. If you look at Taylor, let's pull it up. You know what? We on the conversation right now. Oh, you're keeping me busy while I do things around the house. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Y'all know I missed live stream, so I got a lot to say. Let's get into Alandria and Taylor. He had that girl making breakfast. And Taylor, let me see if I could find the videos. No, not these recent ones. These are too recent. Okay, here.
One thing to tell you how much I like you, but it's another thing to show you. You know what's crazy? I don't know if we say good morning to each other. I don't know if we ever have. And that's, we have? Yeah. Like, I don't like to compare us to other people, but I see like how further along other people are getting with their person. I'm just like, am I missing something? Are we missing something? Are we not? Did we skip a step?
See, this is where Alandria was starting to piss me off a little bit, but I get it because she was... talking about this makes me angry. When I tell y'all, I wanted to grab Taylor from the screen and just chuck him somewhere. He makes me mad. I think of all the men on the show, he pissed me off the most, y'all. I was pissed when I saw him making breakfast for him. I said, girl, put that skillet down. Put them eggs down. Don't do that. But this is why I say in my case studies, if you want to know if a man's interested in you, don't do anything. Fall back. You need to fall back. Cause sis, every time I watch a scene, I'm like, you're too beautiful for this, sis. This man couldn't even look her in the face. Y'all saw when she was talking about other people in the villa, he was like this, all to the side, then talking about, yeah, bro. He was not interested in her. He was not attracted to her. And he even told Ace he wasn't physically attracted to her.
Yeah, it's something there, but it's just like, if the physical attraction there, physical attraction there. If it's not there, it's not there. Like, I don't even know how to even get that physical attraction.
She's cooking for your dumb ass. Cooking. I ain't even got that.
So he kept her there because he was waiting for his next option, which he proved in the end when he went on the Standing on Business challenge and he said, oh yeah, like I moved from me. We gonna talk about, we gonna show that too. But he led her on. And unfortunately, Alandria has a type. She loves black men. She loves black love. It's been shown on her Twitter and her Instagram. She does. She has a certain type of loyalty. And she's race loyal. But I will let y'all know right now. Don't look at the race of the man. The character is more important. Because look at how he treated her. Look at how he treated her. The optics. And this is why let me tell you who's mad at Nick and Alandria's relationship. And who's screaming that it's fake. Who's screaming? Who are the ones screaming that it's fake? I'm gonna tell y'all. Black men white women. And not all white women. Of course, I know that some of them support Alandria and Nick. Don't get me wrong. But as we can see, who is talking the loudest?
I don't care how bad y'all try to romanticize this shit, but Nick and Alandria ain't gonna have my support. I don't believe it. No. We've already seen the movie. We've seen this movie before, not too long ago. Okay, it's fake. It's not real. You can't convince me otherwise. Cause what happened to the sisterhood? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to girls, girl? You know what I'm saying? What happened to, oh, Sierra, I'm sorry for exploring a connection with your man, but, you know what I'm saying, we're grateful that we tried it and it didn't work out. What the fuck happened to that? Where all that go? All right, why that just go out the door the minute Shawty get kicked off of being racist? Y'all not finna piss on my shoes and tell me it's raining. F*** out of here. Now, am I surprised? No. All right, nothing against Landrew, but like, you've already proven that you have no problem being a man's second choice. I seen that coming. Okay, Nick? Who the fuck else? Okay, I seen that coming. Now, do I think they have a bond? For sure. Anytime you can have a laugh like they had this episode, it's a bond. But as far as it being romantic, no.
If y'all don't think Nick's little pretty boy, fuckboy white ass is gonna get out of that villa and use the clout that he has to be as slutty as humanly possible, you're dumb. Y'all like, oh no, Nick and Alandria are gonna make it past this. Nick Alandria. He was barely locked into her the entire time. They were stuck on an island together with no other options other than him. He had 4 other options. You think he's gonna get outside millions of women hitting him up on Instagram and choose Alandria? And this isn't even a dig at Alandria. This is a dig at Nick, and this is a dig at you dumbass motherfuckers who are trying to put Alandria through another fucking humiliation ritual with Nick. I don't want to see them together because Nick isn't that interested in her. He is lustful. He thinks highly of her, but he's not a committed man. He keeps referring to her as like a potential friend. I don't know where this is gonna go because you haven't gone outside and seen the options yet. A man who wants to commit will commit. If a man wants you, he's going to commit. He's like, oh, I'm not quite sure where we're going here. Even if Alandria is not interested, right? He could be like, I'm really into Alandria and I'm willing to wait for her and go at the pace that she wants to, even when we get out of here. But he's like, if she doesn't f me, I'm just gonna find something else. Like, come on, bro.
I might as well say it. I'm not gonna lie. I am one of dude's baby mamas.
I don't get the people that are shipping Nick Alandria.
I have no words for those people because I'm just like, make it make sense.
It's like a cult.
What is, because they make out a lot during challenges. They're all over each other during challenges. Like, they have no substance. They talk about absolutely nothing. Even his family's rooting for them. And I'm like,
They kissed before and they said it was so mad platonic. So obviously this is like a play for a win at the end.
They're not going to be
for
together
the
after
money.
the show. He cleaned off the seat for Alandria before she sat. He's never done that for Sierra. I'm like, give me a
You're reaching. The reach is so high.
Which couple has the best chance of making it in the outside world besides you and Brian?
I would have to say Alandria and Nick.
Really?
Yeah. Alandria and Nick families spoke about cookouts already and inviting each other over to their household. So I really do think that they're going to be a good couple.
Did you feel any, I guess, outside pressure from not just you, like from your couple, but either the other Islanders or behind the scenes, or, you know, like you said, you're reading America's thoughts that they're supporting you. Did any of that kind of come into play in your mind of like, oh, everyone's thinking this, we really should give it a shot?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was pressure. It was more like just another notion to try it out and to see if it could work. So I don't think it was pressure. Just more of like a little bit of a layup.
Black men and white women. So again, sis was race loyal, and I commend her for it because, you know, she love a chocolate brother. So of course she's race loyal, you know, and I'm not saying that she is necessarily wrong for having felt that way because of where she's from. She's explained it on the Keke Palmer interview. Like, she felt like white men wouldn't be attracted to her because of where she's from. She's from Alabama. Y'all know what. Remember, the Montgomery Brawl happened in Montgomery, Alabama. So probably in her experiences, the white men, she said they were more traditional, which means that they don't really date outside of their race, or they don't marry people outside of their race. So I get it. But what I will say is that Alandra better stop being race loyal. Yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying. But I think she woke up now. Now she's woken up. Thank you, sis. She finally woke up. But what I'm saying is that a lot of young women think like her, especially in our community. And they're super race loyal to a fault, unfortunately, because in the villa especially, like, she should have never been loyal to Taylor. He was never loyal to her. Look at how he treated her. He never treated her with respect. And another thing I have to point out is that she's from Alabama, like I said, but I grew up in Florida. And I know some of you grew up, you guys are living in different states. When I grew up in South Florida, so men like Nick are a dime a dozen. In my high school, the white boys were very versatile. They dated everybody. There are a lot of white guys, and I'm talking about handsome white men. I knew white guys at my school who had grills. They were literally like, you know, Paul Wall. They were Paul Wall before Paul Wall was Paul Wall. Let's just put it that way, right? So I grew up in a very diverse area in Fort Lauderdale. So we had Hispanic people, black people, white people all together, especially in school. Yeah, we lived in separate areas, but in school it was just like a melting pot, right? Everybody was there. And a lot of white guys that I knew in high school dated black girls. A lot of them. They dated white girls, black girls, Hispanic girls. They switched them off, right? So it was nothing for me to see white men liking black women, right? This was normal in Florida, but I don't know where everyone else is from. So I know in certain states it's not as normalized. But if you are in South Florida, you ain't got to worry about that. The white men, they gonna date you. They gonna date you. Same thing with Montreal. Same thing with Toronto. Where else I could think of? I only lived in the U.S. I only lived in Florida in the U.S., but I know for sure in high school they dated black girls. I had white guys saying they were interested in me. I just wasn't allowed to date. One of my first boyfriends was Hispanic when I was 16. So it was nothing abnormal for me. I was dating interracially before it was even like, I'm not saying it wasn't popular back in the day, but what I'm trying to say is that it wasn't anything for us because we always were around each other. So people just dated whoever they were around. So it wasn't anything like, oh, white guys would never. I never in my life questioned whether a white guy would be attracted to me. That was never a question. The question was whether they would take me seriously. Now that's another question. But as far as dating goes, there was no issue dating white men. You could find white men anywhere. Hell, if y'all even come to my city right now, I'm sure you could find a white guy here. They are there. So what I mean by that is that Alandra was so fixated on a fantasy that didn't really exist. And I think that I'm so happy she went through this experience because you can tell that she definitely is a cater to you type of woman. Listen, I got to keep it real. She gives me Beyonce and Destiny's Child's "Let Me Cater to You, cause baby this is your day." She giving me that. She gives me that vibe. That's her theme song. So she looks like she would really like put her all into her black king. But the sad part is that look at how Taylor treated her. Now let's continue. Oh, I got so many footage, but I'm not going to show too much because I know of time. But I really want to go over this a little bit. Look at Taylor and Clark. Nick was an op. Anyway, he was opping. He was opping with all the guys that were around Alandra. We'll talk about that after. Now, Taylor. Look how he was showing all his teeth and grinning and skinning and grinning when he was talking to Clark. But with Alandria, it's like she had to pull teeth to get him to have a conversation. Why? Because he wasn't invested. He wasn't invested. She wasn't used to a man like Nick affirming her, and she said Nick opened her water. Yeah, I remember that interview. Yeah.
I think the most recent thing has been seeing her softness and, like she was saying, her sensitive side.
So exactly that. And it sounds like Nick is doing just that as well.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here.
Tell me your favorite thing about Nick.
I love how caring he is. He's always making sure I'm okay. I don't know. He's always just there for me, allows me to bask in my femininity, allows me to be soft. I feel like I never got a chance to really do that in the past.
She doesn't even have to touch anything. Yeah.
I truly feel like the 5 years that I've been single, I truly just stepped into like this masculine energy, and I didn't allow myself to just feel like a woman. In his presence, I can truly feel like a woman. I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything. Even opening a water bottle, he's doing that for me. I don't have to do nothing.
She's used to doing all the labor. Sounds like any. Let me tell y'all that we could get into that another day. She's used to doing all the labor in relationships. I could already tell because, again, she was fixated on a certain type of man. I think this is her first time exploring another type of man, and she's seeing what they're bringing. And she sees that it's not the same. So when men ask women like us, because Clay, y'all remember Clay from Love is Blind? He was asking, why do black women, get mad at black men for dating interracially, but you guys accept when black women date interracially?
Black women, come and holler at me real quick. I don't want no smoke. I just got a couple observations and I got some questions. Specifically to black women that support Nick and Alandria, I got some questions for y'all. Why is it when black men date outside of their race, he's labeled a colorist and a disgrace to his culture? But when black women date outside of their race, they are championed. I be trying to understand.
This is the kind of reception you get.
Mind you, he said all that, and then look how he treated AD on his season of Love is Blind.
This has been the best process. AD, I love you. I don't think it's responsible for me to say I do.
Just when I thought Love Island was over into the reunion, I guess it's not. Because here I am with some more thoughts on what's been going on outside the villa. I got some thoughts about Taylor and his podcast with the Vow Files, but that'll be for another video. This one is about Nick, because he's been on podcasts and all this stuff, talking about him and Landry's relationship, and been on live, they've been snuggled up, now they in Disney World, all that. I'm just confused because isn't this the same guy that closed stuff off with Sierra before she left? Isn't this the same guy that him and Sierra did the deed 3 times? Like, is that not weird to y'all? It's like, cool. Stay in the villa, go after the bread, whatever. You're outside the villa now. And I seen stuff like somewhere, let's just say allegedly, because I don't want to say anybody, I don't want to speak no lies on anybody. I seen him say that he hasn't even had a conversation with Sierra yet. Huh? Like, bro, what? Like, it's weird to me because it's like, at this point, are you not, hey, don't do that. Don't throw coke. It's weird to me because I feel like he's isolating himself from her because of the situation. It's almost like he's like, you got a whole bunch of smoke around your name. But again, I have no understanding on why Nick gets away with the things he gets away with, because all the Alandria fans was pissed off at Taylor. They wanted to publicly crucify him for the way that he treated Alandria, and all he didn't do was just be honest. But with Nick, he just gets away with it. And with Nick, they love it. With Nick, they love everything about it. When he's talking about Sierra and how he just breezes over it, everybody's like, oh, I feel so bad for it. And keep it pushing. Like, that is crazy to me. Then that leads me to my last question that Clay from Love is Blind brought to my attention. Why do black women bash and just go in on black men for dating outside their race? But when a black woman dates outside their race, they just like are so okay with it and make up all the excuses and reasons in the world on why it makes sense. I don't care. Love who you love. So I'm not the person that's like, how dare you? I'm saying, how dare you be mad at a black man for doing the same thing that a black woman is doing? We just seen this whole season of season 7 of Love Island, how the double standard is crazy. That is a double standard.
I want you all to notice something here. There's a pattern. Notice how the men are so concerned with Sierra and her well-being and how Nick played her and how he did her so dirty. How dare he not talk to her after Love Island? Because they were closed off. Isn't that the excuse, right? However, what they forget to say is that she was kicked off the show for making a racist statement. She, just like Yulissa, used a racial slur against Asian people. I already know the slur that she used. And there's no way in the world that she didn't know that that wasn't a slur. But then again, they're minimizing it like, oh, she just made a mistake. And she's so innocent. Notice how they're quick to take up for her. And again, I'm going to say it, that they don't want to accept the fact that Alandria is being treated better by Nick, who is a white man. Now, does Sierra deserve a conversation? I think that it would have been best for him to at least put out a statement saying that he is no longer with her. That I do believe, because sis has been on a world tour trying to get his attention, and he's just not giving it to her. Now, my personal belief is that he's waiting till the reunion to make his statement. And I think that that's what he's waiting for, and that's the reason why he hasn't said anything as of yet.
I've been avoiding this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like my feelings about it change every day, and it's so complex. Like, there's so many layers involved to it. I don't think I could ever explain it in a way where I could expect everyone to understand. At its core, I'm just a girl who liked a boy. I'm mourning a relationship and going through like kind of like a breakup almost, and like a lot of people won't understand that because it's like, oh, it's a dating show and you only knew each other for X amount of weeks. What I will say about Nick and I's relationship is, throughout it all, despite what you guys saw, we were both doing our fair share of exploring. Our kind of like unwritten rule was that we wouldn't ask each other about how they felt about other people, how we felt about other people. Where we found comfort and solidarity is like taking our minds outside of the villa. Like, we avoided the where's your head at, how are you feeling, and we just talked about like the most random shit and just bonded over like life outside of the villa. There's so much of it that you guys didn't get to see, and you know, it is what it is. But when Casa Amor happened, that was, I think, a turning point for both of us. You know, like, it took me so much to get to a place where I could let my walls down and really feel for someone. In that moment that I was back at the fireplace and I thought that Nick was gone, I had this moment of clarity where I was like, why is he gone? Like, he should be here. I want to be with him. And that's kind of when I knew that he was the person I wanted to be with. He came back and he told me that he missed me and told me about his Casa experience. Like, I was on such a high from thinking that he was gone and then realizing that he was back and hearing that he just was thinking about me this whole time. So I thought, when I realized Nick was back, I had given all my attention to him, obviously. So when I was with Alandria off camera, I was like, girl, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy to see you. Like, obviously 2 nights before, I was just sobbing my fucking eyes out because she had left. She's one of my closest friends in there and like one of my confidants and one of my people, you know? I can be sad for myself that I'm mourning this relationship and all of these things that I thought were gonna happen between us. And I can also be happy for 2 people that I care about. But as days went on and I didn't hear from either of them, the more hurt I became. Like, I feel like when I first came out and I could appreciate the friendships and the relationships and the memories that we had all shared and find beauty in their situation, it was because I thought that like they could come out and, I don't know, I guess embrace me. But as the days went on and it just kind of felt like I never existed, and like the friendship Alandria and I shared had never existed, and the relationship that Nick and I shared had never existed, like, that shit hurts.
Sierra, sis, listen. You said a racial slur. I don't understand why you think that people are just gonna get over that. Not only that, but they don't want to reach out to you because they don't want to. After how you treated Alandria, the final moments that you had with her, you literally stabbed her in the back, even though she thought of you after the whole Soul Ties kiss. Alandria is a big people pleaser. We've already established that, and you could see it in the footage. There's no way that she would have been with Nick and she wouldn't have reached out to you unless she really felt like you weren't her friend. As for Nick, you already know he does not like confrontation. He is very conflict avoidant. Now, she is making it seem as if their relationship was deeper than what it was. The way that she is talking in this video is as if he cheated on her with her homegirl after she's been with him for a long time. Now, this is Love Island, y'all. One mistake that Nick did make was closing it off with her, because now this is the reason why she's able to come back and say all of these things. I don't know if this is revisionist history or whatnot, but from my recollection, He didn't want to pursue things outside of the villa. And he even confirmed with her, what does it mean to be closed off outside? He never gave her any type of affirmation or confirmation that they would be official outside. Because remember, in Love Island, being closed off in the villa just means that you're not going to pursue any other connections until the end of the show. So the way she's framing it is as if she was with a serious boyfriend. She's one of those women that always needs closure, and she will not rest until she gets it. And if you're the type of woman that always needs closure, this is the type of energy that you give off. It's the desperation for him to reach out to you. It's not cute, y'all. It ain't. And I would think of it as this: if I see that he's not reaching out to me and he's already done moved on, then I got to get to stepping. And also, I find it very strategic what she's doing. This woman is a PR manager, or she was. So she knows what she's doing, y'all. She knows what she's doing.
Don't just stick to one person or one race, because one, you'll be sorely disappointed. I'll say that. But two, you should widen and cast your net, because you're going to notice the difference in treatment off the bat. And somebody said Nick is from Jacksonville. Yes, he is from Jacksonville, Florida. Yes, so that's why this is not surprising. That's why when people are like, that's why I was saying Sierra miscalculated. She thought that he was a preppy white boy because she's used to the white boys in Arizona. She's used to Arizona. She's used to the white boys in Arizona. But she didn't realize that the white men come in different shades and cultures. The white men you see in Arizona and California and on the West Coast are not the same breed of white men you see in Georgia and in Florida. North Carolina, South Carolina, you can go up the New York, wherever you want to go. Especially Florida, because I have experience there. So those are different white men. You can't, they're not created equally. They're not. So that's where Sierra was, she got life messed up. Notice when he got with Alandria. First of all, his best friends in the villa were Nick and Ace, and also Pepe. That should tell you everything you need to know. And now he's really good friends with Brian and Chris. All of these men are men of color. Matter of fact, I think him and Charlie and Austin were the only, and TJ, they were the 4 white guys. Notice when he was with Sierra, I will say this, I won't show clips, but when he was with Sierra, he assumed the personality that she wanted, but that's not necessarily who he was. I think that he grew up in a different environment, because they said he traveled to 44 countries and his parents traveled with him a lot. So I can tell that he knows how to assimilate to different environments. But at the same time, you could tell his real personality. He had a little, remember, this one was a spicy one. He got a little spiciness to him. Ain't that what Landria said? She's right. You know, let me tell y'all, you know, when you see a guy, you can tell. Okay, I'm going to give y'all an example. Look at Dom. Dom is Korean. Full Korean. From Korea, raised in Korea, born in Korea. But I could tell he had a little seasoning to him. Well, first of all, he messaged me, so I knew that he didn't really have a type. So that's number one. He was interested in talking to me. I'm black. If he wasn't interested, he wouldn't have messaged. Same thing with Nick. If he wasn't interested, he wouldn't have kissed her at the blindfold challenge. And she wouldn't have kissed him either. In the first, they were both interested in each other. Now, the thing is that when I started talking to Dom, you could tell he had seasoning in him. He got a lot of seasoning. And now the seasoning is in full effect. You can see it. You know when a man of a different race has seasoning. Nick has seasoning. But the problem was that Sierra miscalculated. If him and Sierra, let's say he never was with Alandria. Let's say him and Alandria were never together. And he ended up with Sierra. And let's say he actually was interested in Sierra and he pursued her. I don't think he would have ever been able to comfortably fit in her lifestyle and her aesthetic, because that's not him. He hangs out with diverse people, diverse crowds. He likes to be around diversity. She is not diverse. She is whites only. Whites only. That's it. That's her MO. Notice in the villa, I understand she was friends with Shelly and all the other girls, but I don't think that that's who she normally hangs out with outside of the villa. If you look at all her pictures and all of her TikToks and edits, she's always around people who look like her. And it's for a reason. So that's what I'm saying. Like, aesthetically, she is a cat. Like, she likes to be around people like Iris and TJ. Notice how they were doing these double dates in the house and stuff like that. Iris and TJ, Nick and Sierra. That's her type of environment. And when she wants to have fun and she wants to hang out, she hangs out with Shelly. Because her and Shelly were very close. But other than that, her and Elandria weren't friends. They were just friends by proxy because of Shelly. That's all that was. I don't think her and Elandria were actually friends like that, to be quite honest with you. They never were. Hold on. Somebody said Clay did. Yeah, he was sleeping with non-black. Clay is a mess, y'all. Clay is a mess. Yeah, let's get into Taylor and Clark now. Okay, let's get into Nick and Elandria, and then I gotta wrap it up for real, because I could go on and on about Love Island. There's just so much content to cover with them. But Shelly and Ace, they are together, so they're doing their thing. I'm happy for her, but I will say that their age gap is definitely gonna cause an issue when it comes to when they get serious enough. Like, I think that right now is cute, it's okay, but their age gap is gonna cause an issue, I believe. For sure, in some capacity. Now, Ace is very mature for his age, so maybe it'll work out for them, and I hope it does, because they're very cute together. But I will say that they would definitely have roadblocks because of their age gap. So that's something that they have to be careful about. Now let's get to Nick and Elandria. Oh, Taylor and Clark. The whole standing on business. Taylor was selfish, whatever. Okay. So now that the whole show is over, let's see how Taylor is treating Elandria. Y'all gonna see this. And how he's treating Clark. This was just the other day, y'all. I think it was over the weekend. Maybe Friday. Okay. Let's get into this. Okay. So look, Elandria jumped over the couch. Now they put 3 dreads. Okay. So she's so cute. So now she's dancing. Okay, look, they doing TikToks together. They're on a brand trip together. Okay, cute. All right. Cute. Okay, look at this. Now that they're out of the villa, look at him, right? And then look at him being all up behind her. Look at this man. Look at him. Look at him being all up behind her. I think at one point he was fixing her leave out. He was fixing her hair. Look at this. Look at this man. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at what he's doing. He's realizing that she's really popular. All right. So we'll say that. And now that they're out of the villa, he's more like social with her. Imagine all that energy wasn't there when they were in the villa. Somebody said Nick's gonna be here. Probably will. Y'all, Nick is crazy. I'll just say that. So Taylor and Clark. Now this is a problem, y'all. We're gonna show this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to Nick and Elandria, and then we're gonna wrap it up, because all the other couples I'm gonna cover at the reunion. Taylor and Clark. Look at this. Look at what happened. Hold on. Taylor pushing Clark. All right, where is that? Is it this one? Okay, we're gonna play this one. Wait, why do they always be playing music? Hold on. Here, okay, we'll watch this girl's coverage, because I don't want to hear music. Oh no, I don't want this lady. I need to block her. Okay, here, let's listen to this one.
On live a lot, and people are noticing he's been treating her really weird. I saw this tweet. It said, "I just know Clark got the nastiest ick. Like, what is he even doing, and why are you trying to embarrass her in front of strangers?" I'm gonna run the clip when he just kept pushing her head out of the live.
Clark, did y'all have to share clothes? If was the girl sharing clothes? Because I feel like I seen girls wearing the same things on different episodes.
They did. They all shared each other's clothes.
Thanks, Taylor.
Now, I didn't see the live, but they're saying he mushed.
Okay, so he did it. At first, people were laughing probably because they thought it was a joke, right? But let's play more. Hold on. I'm going to pause it because the music. Okay, this music is okay. All right, look. Look at him. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. And that's not the only time, y'all. Look at this one here. This is where he does it. She's, she's doing whatever she's doing. She's dancing, whatever, having a good time. And then look at his hand here. He pushes her. Look at that. And look at that guy behind. Look at that. Hold on, keep going. We're gonna rewind it a little bit. See? Look at that. Because you can't really see the bottom, but he pushed her out of the way because Nick got on the live. He's one of those guys that loves to hang out with his homeboys, and he's gonna show love to his homeboys, and then he's not showing love to his girlfriend. Like, you can see how he treats his girlfriend in front of his guys is different than how he treats her in private. What a man does in public, that should let you know everything you need to know. The fact that he did this on live stream and where people can clip it and he just didn't care, that just lets me know that he does not care about that girl. I'm sorry. Clark is cute. She's beautiful. But he doesn't have that kind of personality. He doesn't. I don't think I think that now that the novelty is done, like it's worn off. So he's been with her outside of the villa. I think that now, when you first start dating someone, it's all exciting. Everything's great. And then after that, like, things get normal. And now the real behavior's coming out.
Y'all are going to pay attention to this here. Look at his caption. She fell in love at first sight. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, he's just playing. He's just playing. What? Oh, my anger. I'm telling y'all. Taylor gets my blood pressure high because I have dated a Taylor before. And it's just triggering me because he reminds me of that guy. And I'm telling you, when I say Clark is in trouble, she's in trouble here. This man is making it seem like she was chasing him. And remember, he loved when Alandria was chasing him. He likes to be chased.
Who was interested first? Who said I love you first? Who's more protective? Who cleans more? Who eats the most?
The mask is off. This is his real self. And the fact that he did it on a live stream in front of everyone lets me know that he does not care about women. He doesn't treat, and Alandra said that he treated her right. He would get her stuff. He would do things for her. And that was because Ace was prompting him to. Ace and Nick were behind him. But notice now that Ace and Nick are not behind him, telling him how to treat a woman, he doesn't know how to. I mean, he did spend money on her. He got her nails done, stuff like that. So he did do cute stuff for her. Don't get me wrong. He did. When she went to his house in Oklahoma, they did a whole welcoming to her, got her nails done, all that stuff. But the treatment doesn't lie. Why is he shoving the girl? Why is he mushing her? He's doing just like Bridget Macron did to President Macron when they were on the little airplane or whatever. He's mushing her. Ace and Nick, look how they treat their girls, and look how Taylor treats his girl. So again, he doesn't know how to emotionally connect with a woman as far as relationships go, and that's a problem. That's a big problem. And unfortunately, Clark, I feel so sorry for her because I don't think she's really realizing it now. And I don't think she gets it. And people are making excuses like, oh, he's just playing. No, even one time is not playing. He kept doing it multiple times because he knew he could. He couldn't do it with somebody like Shelly and Alandria. He would never be able to do that. So he knows who to do it with. He never mushed Alandria's head like that ever. I don't think he ever would. So men know who to play with. He knows who he's playing with. He's just trying to see what he can get away with. The fact that he did this again twice on live and he's still doing it. He does not care. So that's just what's going to happen, y'all. Now let's get to the grand finale. Nick and Alandria. My favorite couple other than, I really like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the couples I think I told you guys. I love Nick and Alandria, Ace and Shelly, Iris and Pepe. Even though Iris and Pepe, Lord, I actually didn't think they was gonna make it because remember her and TJ had something pretty strong. The way she was crying and bubbling over TJ, I thought that she was gonna go right back to him after the finale, but they're still together. And I actually think that those three couples can make it long term. Do I think that any of them can last forever? Absolutely. I don't know, right? We don't know. But I will say, though, that of all the couples, Nick and Alandria are probably going to make it the most. I will tell you guys why, and then I will end the live stream real quickly. 10 minutes. I'm going to give you guys my opinion. The reason I believe that Nick and Alandria have the potential to make it long term, the way he treats Alandria, you can tell that he's really genuine about it. Another thing I will say is that Alandria is already locked in. We already know that. I already knew that. She, like I told you, she's a cater to you type of woman. She looks like when she's really invested, she's going to be invested for a long time. She's very loyal.
In my experience, connecting with a man emotionally will always set your relationship up for success long term. Now, no one knows whether people are going to last forever or not. However, your chances increase when he has an emotional connection to you, because he will learn to care about you. He sees you as a human being and not an object. This is why it was so easy for Nick to just drop Sierra. He never saw her as more than anything than somebody he could nut off of. I gotta keep it real. So this is why she's upset, because in her mind, they had a better, deeper connection because they connected through sex, which is what she thinks a connection is. He just saw it as a release. And notice how he was able to just move on from her without any regard. And even when he was in the villa with her, he wasn't checking her like that. She had to consistently come up to him. And I remember there was one scene where she said, "We haven't kissed. We haven't really done anything for the past few days." And that was close to the end. He was ready to drop her.
I feel like we haven't gotten a moment alone since our little date.
As for Shelly and Ace, same thing. She made him work for it. Even though I didn't agree with that little breakfast situation when she made breakfast for him, but that's neither here nor there. He was pursuing her and kept pursuing her, and still outside of the villa, he's still pursuing her. He's still showing her love because they had an emotional connection.
Hold on!
Hello.
Babe, what you doing?
Yes. I was letting you know I just got in the car. I'm headed to Minnesota.
Alright. You need anything?
No, I'm good. I just wish you were here.
I know. I'm handling business right now, but I'm gonna call you back after this, okay?
Alright, well, have fun. Love you.
Alright, love you too.
The only outlier is Clark and Taylor. Why? Because they never had any deep conversations. Shelly and Ace did, and so did Nick and Alandria. Pippa and Iris, they're iffy for me because they started out physical first. So we'll see where that goes, but I didn't see any emotional connection with them at all. And Amaya and Brian, you already know what's going to happen with them. Listen, I'm optimistic, but at the same time, they don't have any type of emotional connection. So you can see how he's treating her outside of the villa too. He's not really regarding her like that. She's just somebody that he used to know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, always make sure you develop an emotional connection first before you give up your nookie.
So as far as that goes, she's going to be with him. Their families have already approved. His mom actually, before I think it was after the first date or first time they kissed, I think during the blindfold challenge, probably around that time, like the blindfold challenge or the first challenge when she had to kiss and choose the guy, his mom had already said that she felt a spark between him and Alandria.
And then obvious one, who do you see Nick coupled up with?
I felt a spark with him and Alandria initially.
Yeah.
I felt like they really had this kind of passionate thing between them, and I like her because she's got a good head on her shoulders. And she's solid and she's very authentic and she's beautiful. I love that body. Oh my god, I'm so jealous of her body.
We love her.
Love her. So I don't feel that they're really making the connection on every episode, but I would love to see it.
There's
the Laundry
definitely-
Nation. Woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo. Yeah.
We still like Sierra.
Yeah.
We think she's really cool.
I just don't feel like I've seen enough of her, maybe, like,
Yeah.
to understand who she really is. Like,
I don't think they're really being shown a lot, which is fine, but yeah.
See, this is why moms be knowing. His mama was like, no, I want Landria for you. And she said, Alandria makes men be, like, she's like, she brings the man out of men, basically, out of them, out of the young men. She brings the manliness side out of them. His mama said that. And that was way before any type of Nicolandria crumbs or whatever came out. His mama said that.
How do you feel about last night's episode?
Super excited. I really enjoyed it. I am a little anxious, and so I'm glad I don't have high blood pressure because it would be a problem right now, but
Guys, I don't know if it was scripted, and I don't care. I love it. They're feeding our delusions.
he's not Nicky Poo anymore.
Nick.
The name is Nick Van Steenberg.
The only thing I'm like worried about is I think she really likes Taylor, and I think he likes Sierra, so I don't know how that's gonna go tonight. But maybe Taylor will choose Clark, which, what do you think of her?
Clark?
Yeah.
I do sense they have something genuine. Like, they seem to have much more of a connection than I've seen with him with anybody else. I kind of think it's charming. I mean, that's what they're there for, is to find their connections, right?
But I would feel so bad for Alandria. She like seems to really like him.
But the thing with Alandria is like, she really is like queen vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And then I feel like she brings out the man in every boy, and I think they try to they try to be better because of her vibe. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like really like stand up. So I feel like I'd like to see that from Nick a little bit, because of course he's playful and funny, you know, but I'd like to see what she brings out of him, and I think he can bring out in her a playfulness that we haven't seen yet.
I think she's so mature. I would crash out personally if I was talking so good about him and then came back and he was with another girl.
No,
I think we would both be happy with whatever happens as long as they both don't go home. Because we love them both so much.
So you got that approval. Then her mom gave her approval.
Because a lot of y'all scenes were deleted out and they didn't get to see the scene where you and Nick's mom were bonding. They seen that picture of y'all laughing together, and it was like, we didn't get to see that conversation.
We were just discussing the show with them, like different things they did on the show. From all the kissing and the games and stuff. We were just joking. That's all.
Somebody had asked me how I had felt about her doing all that kissing.
I mean, you gotta look at it.
No, they
went from literally not ever seeing my child hold a boy's hand to having to see her kiss. Of course, that was a big jump, but she did explain the show to me before she went. But I support my child on anything, just long as she ain't out there doing the most.
Then I was like, you know what? He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went on there, he explored. So, do you see yourself really giving Nick the opportunity?
On Family Day. And then his dad and her sister. So his dad, his sister, his mom on his side, the three people who matter the most to him, and also the people that matter the most to her. Now, people are saying that, oh, they're fake relationship, they're manufactured. Y'all tell me if this looks manufactured to you. Y'all get the point. Listen, he said love plant. And you water it and seed and watch it grow. He said love. 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 Another thing I noticed is when Sierra was like, oh, it really bothered me. First of all, they're on a date and she talking about Nick and Alandria. Then she brought up that it bothered her, and how would you feel if it was Taylor and me? And notice he didn't answer the question. He said, I could understand how you feel, but that kiss gave me clarity. I don't want to laugh, but damn, if that's not in your face, I don't know what is. He didn't even say, oh, I would be upset, or normal people would be like, yeah, you're right, I would be upset, I would be upset. No, he didn't say that. He said, I understand how you felt. Another thing I noticed with them is that he's very sure he wants to be with her. Now, one thing I will say that would be a red flag for him, like I said, was that he I think how he moved with Sierra showed the immature side of him, and that he thinks with his wee-wee. Just put it out there. There's no excuse for that, to be quite honest with you. I personally think that I would say that he does have, like, people were saying he has a lust problem, and I agree. I do think that. I think that he still hasn't learned how to control that part of himself. And that's something that some men have trouble with, to be quite honest with you. Now, do I think that he will do the same thing to Landria? No, he's not stupid. He knows what he wants. I think with him, he's the type of guy that with the right woman, he might be different. We can already see it already. However, what I will say is that I don't think that he actually planned to fall in love on this show. I think, to be honest with you, he thought that he was just going to smash women and get to the end and then go. That's it. He didn't have no plan in the world. You can tell. So I will say that that's something that I would say Alandra would have to be wary of. And I think that's what is making her be more hesitant to lock it in with him. I'll be honest with you. Because she saw him, you know, she heard them little 30-second pump sessions. And she saw the whole situation in the villa. And so she's probably taking her time, like, okay, let me make sure that he's really about what he's saying he is, especially if we're going to live long distance. And she is completely correct to do that. And I'm happy that she's doing it that way. And I think that, again, if you're going to follow anyone's path, or if you're looking at people, or you're trying to see how you should operate when you date, if you're looking for examples, I think this would be a great example to look at. She's the one controlling the pace. Notice he's trying to fasten the pace. He's trying to, you know, he talked about love. He already said he wants her to move to LA in an interview.
I'm trying to get her to move to LA. Like, that'd be the
He wants me to move to LA. I'm a Southern girl. I like to stay in the South.
You'll find your people, and
if we exist in LA, I could truly consider it.
She's taking her time. And I think that's the best way to do it. Take your time, pace yourself, get to know the person more, and then you can make a decision. Because guess what? The right guy is going to follow your lead. And that is the final conclusion that I have for tonight of the sermon. I know I've been on live for a long time. But my final conclusion is that the right person will follow your pace. You don't got to worry about being too slow, too fast for the right person. Notice with Taylor, she was the one trying to speed it up. But with Nick, she's at her normal pace because he's reassuring her and he's showing her that he cares about her. And she's able to be herself and kind of fall back a little bit. And she ain't had to make him one breakfast. Y'all peep that? She didn't have to cook him now one breakfast. This man was whipping it in the kitchen. He was in the kitchen making the pancakes and the crispy toast. He was doing all that for her. He ain't asked her one time to lift a finger to make him breakfast. Remember that, Taylor. Remember that. Anyway, yeah. So, y'all, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much. I know I've been on here for a long time. How long I've been on here? Hold on. 5 hours. Oh, shoot.